Hello, my name is Jake. I'm visiting you virtually today from Austin, Texas, and I'm here today to help learn about variables within Python. I have started a script that will help us convert weights from how much something would weigh on the Earth to how much it would weigh on the Moon. If you want to take a second and pause the video right now to read through some of those comments and things that we've started with, you can do that here, and we'll get started in just a second. All right, so hopefully you've taken a second to read through the problem and the comments that I've already written in our script. To convert back and forth between Earth weight and Moon weight, we can actually just use the percentage for that relationship. The weight of something on the Moon is 16.5% of what it is here on Earth. So to do that, we can just multiply by the decimal version of that number. To do so, we need to store that number. We're going to make a variable to store that decimal. Now I'm going to call that Earth to Moon ratio. And you may be saying, well, that's a really long thing to type. Why wouldn't I just type 0.165 every time? And there are a few reasons for that. Number one, this name, Earth to Moon ratio, is a clear name. I know exactly what that is. And so when we create that name and we make that box to store the value 0.165 in, we can now use this variable or constant to refer to that later. The reason that we also might call this one a constant, and why I've written it in all caps, is because we don't want it to change. This is going to stay 0.165. But we do have some other things in this program that may change from time to time. So let's take a look at those now. The first thing that we're going to do to convert a weight is we need a weight to convert. We can use our input function to ask the user for a value. And what I've done here is create a name to represent a box to hold that information in. This name will be our variable. I've called it Earth weight stir, and str you may recognize stands for string. I'll tell you why we did that in just a second. We can use our input function, as we said before, to say what is the Earth weight, and maybe you can put in pounds just to help the user. As always, put a space after that so it looks nice for them. So what we've done is we've asked the user to give us this weight, and the reason that I've put str after this variable is when the input function asks the user for something, they type it back on their keyboard, and that comes back as a string type variable. It comes back as a list of characters, what you may see in yellow on my screen or something in quotations. We are going to want to use a number. So what we need to do is we need to take that Earth weight stir that right now is a string, and we need to make it into a number or an integer. So what we're going to do is create a new variable, so a new box to hold some new information, and we're going to call this one Earth weight because it's a number and not a string anymore. To do that, we're going to use int and then enter our Earth weight stir to tell the computer to take that string and turn it into an integer and then save it in the Earth weight box. Once we have their Earth weight, we now want their Moon weight. To get their Moon weight, we said we have two pieces of information. We take their Earth weight and we want to multiply it by that ratio or that percentage that we had before, which is the Earth to Moon ratio. So now we can see this is very clear when we see the words that we're using or the variables that we named. The Moon weight will be equal to the Earth weight times the Earth to Moon ratio. Earth to Moon ratio will be 0.165 and Earth weight will be the number that the user put in earlier. Finally, we want to give that back to the user so we can print out the weight on the Moon would be, I'm going to put a space, I'm going to put a plus to put two strings together, and then I do want the Moon weight, but remember that's a number now. And to print something out, it needs to be a string. So just like before where we said it was an int, we want to make this one into a string to be printed out. After that, I can put LBS to remind them that it's in pounds and finish off that print statement. So if we save this and we come over here and run it, it will first ask us for the earth weight. Maybe I'm looking for something that is 150 pounds. And it will tell us that it is now 24.75 pounds on the moon. Thank you. Feel free to watch again or comment back if you have questions. Have a good day.